In this 15-minute overview, containing video highlights of the 2-hour course titled Pattern, Piano, and Keyboard, we'll jump in toward the beginning of the course, and then we'll make our way through some of the advanced sections, where we're learning to play any song on the piano or the keyboard by ear, using the revolutionary technique of rhythmic patterns. Whether you're brand new to music, or if you've been playing for many years and would like to be able to finally learn to play by ear, I believe this video will give you a good sense of where this course can take you. As we're going through the video, you'll hear me referring to a book that comes with the course. Of course, you won't have that in front of you, but just watching the video will give you a great feel for the content in this course. To begin, we'll spend about 5 minutes here looking at the beginning music theory section of the course. This is the section that talks about notes and chords and the basic building blocks of music. Then we'll jump forward and take a look at some video where we're using these concepts to learn to play songs by ear. Are you ready? Let's dig in. Page 3, sharps. Now this is a musical term you're going to run into all the time. It's very simple. To make any note sharp, play the very next note to the right. Okay, I've picked a C right in the middle of the piano. Now I'd like you to play a C sharp. The definition says play the very next note to the right. And common sense might tell you to play this, but watch out. There's a note that's even closer. This black note is just to the right of C. Okay, now don't get hung up on the colors of notes. The most important thing in music is not the colors of notes. The most important thing in music is the distances or the intervals between notes. You're going to hear that a lot. Intervals means the distances between notes. So these notes are right next to each other. This note is just to the right of C, so that's C sharp. Let's do a couple more. In just a minute, we'll be diving into the songs of the course. But before we do, let's look at some more music theory. We'll jump ahead now to page 5, where we're studying an essential concept called half steps. All right, let's put another brick in your musical foundation now. We're going to talk about something called half steps. This is very simple. A half step is any two notes that are right next to each other. Let's take a look at the video. We're going to use black and white notes here, so I'm giving you a little hint. There's a pop quiz coming up, okay? Let's start with A. Now, half step is any two notes right next to each other. I'd like you to play a note that's a half step up or to the right from A. Okay, now you're not going to go here because we figured that out in the last couple sections. The next note up is right here. So these two notes are right next to each other, right? They're as cozy as they could be. That's a half step because they're right next to each other. It's pretty simple stuff. How about a half step down or to the left of F? A half step down from F, the very next note is, you got it, right there. That's a half step. So if I played half steps all the way up to keyboard, sounds kind of spooky. Those are half steps, just notes that are right next to each other. Let's go on. As you can see, the beginning section of this course is full of concepts that will really help you understand the building blocks of music. Let's jump ahead a little more now to page 7 through 9, where we're studying how to make simple chords. Page 7. Now this section has a wild title. It's called the tetrachord plus a whole step. Now the tetrachord is kind of a scary sounding word. Sounds like it might be a dinosaur or something that would come and eat your house. But the tetrachord plus a whole step is simply a pattern of 5 notes that you can use to instantly build a major chord anywhere on the keyboard. It's super useful. Let's go to the video and take a look. Starting with the note C, I'm going to play a tetrachord plus a whole step, and I'm going to explain how it's built. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the tetrachord. I'll explain how that's built in just a minute. And then a whole step on top. So the tetrachord plus a whole step is a sequence of 5 notes. Let's look at the distance between these intervals. Between 1 and 2 is a whole step, right? Between these notes. Between 2 and 3 is a whole step. Between 3 and 4, and this is the unique one, between 3 and 4 is a half step, right? And between 4 and 5 is a whole step. So the pattern is whole step, half step, whole step. Let me show you why this is so important. If you learn how to build a tetrachord plus a whole step on top, you can play the first, the third, and the fifth notes together, in this case C, E, and G. Guess what? You've got a major chord. Okay, in this case it's built on C, so we'll call this a C major chord. Now, if you've had any experience with music at all, I know you've heard that term, major and minor. Let's jump ahead now to the section of the course where we'll put all this knowledge to use, and we'll start learning to play songs on the keyboard by ear. As you go through this course, you'll see that I'm using a lot of different songs to teach the rhythmic patterns technique. The point of the course is not the songs. They're simply vehicles to teach the rhythmic patterns technique. And the great thing is, once you've gone through the course, you might forget all the songs, and it really doesn't matter. The point is, once you grab on to the rhythmic patterns technique, you can use that technique to play any song that you'd like to do completely by ear on the piano or the keyboard. Doesn't that sound fantastic? That's what it's all about. Here we go, right into the course, right into some music. Now, the reason I've picked a very old, simple song is because it only has 3 chords. Let's figure out the first chord, F major. We'll use the pattern of the tetrachord plus a whole step to find this chord. Starting on F with your thumb, the pattern that you know really well by now is whole step, half step, right, between 3 and 4, and whole step. That's it. Pick out 1, 3, and 5, and you've got an F major chord. So you'll simply sing the melody of this song and play that F major chord like this. Oh, give me a home. Okay, did you notice that what I played on the piano went pretty well with what I sang? Well, we must have done it right. Okay, so we got the F major chord. The course video goes on to show how to find the other 2 chords, but let's jump ahead now to the point where we found all 3 chords, and we'll use them to play this song very simply. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. You've noticed that I'm not playing the melody with my right hand. I'm simply singing the melody so that my hands can concentrate on the chords. When you complete this foundational lesson and you've gained a good grasp on playing rhythmic patterns, you can then jump right into our advanced lessons, which will then teach you to play that melody with your right hand. Later in this course, we'll begin to break these chords up into rhythmic patterns and continue singing the melody so that you can continue to focus on your hands. But for now, let's stay focused on the rhythmic patterns technique and go to the next song. This is where we start to take those chords and break them up into rhythmic patterns. Instead of just holding the chord for 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to play something on every beat. So on beat 1, we'll play something. On beat 2, we'll play something. You get it. On beats 3 and 4, we'll play something. So your hand's going to be quite a bit more busy. Look at the pattern I've written down on the page. Over the chord C major, you'll play this for every measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's about as simple a rhythmic pattern as you can come up with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play that same rhythmic pattern now for the chord F major in the first line of the song. Here's an F major chord, whole step, half step, whole step. Pick out 1, 3, and 5, and that gives you a major chord. Now for the rhythmic pattern, on the first beat of the measure, you're going to play the 3rd and the 5th, followed by 1, the 3rd and the 5th again, followed by 1. So this very simple rhythmic pattern over F sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's play the entire first line of the song. C major, 1, 2, 3, 4. C major again, 1, 2, 3, 4. F, 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to C, 2, 3, 4. Now let's play the second line because there's a G major chord Finally, let's cut to the chase again, and let's go to the section where we've studied all of the chords, and we've learned to play each one of them as a rhythmic pattern. Now we'll put it all together and add the melody on top. Michael, row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael, row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Even though this is the simplest of rhythmic patterns, with the right hand rocking back and forth, you can see that it instantly gives rhythm and structure to the song. You're just a few songs in, and already you're starting to sound like a keyboard player. Now let's jump ahead a few songs in the course. This is where the real fun begins. In this song, we'll begin to alternate the rhythmic pattern that you've already seen with a brand new rhythmic pattern. Alternating, mixing, and matching rhythmic patterns is the key to creating great arrangements by ear on the fly without the need for sheet music. For the sake of time, we'll skip the chord and the rhythmic pattern study sections, and we'll go to the section where we've put it all together. I'm just a poor, wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe. But there's no sickness, toil or danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. Again, you can see that we're alternating a brand new rhythmic pattern with the rhythmic pattern we've already seen. From here, each song teaches a new rhythmic pattern until you've developed an entire arsenal that you can use to create your own unique arrangements by ear. From this point on in the course, you'll learn many new advanced rhythmic patterns. The focus is on teaching you to mix and match all of these patterns any way that you'd like, to come up with your own unique arrangements of any song by ear on the keyboard. In addition, you'll spend time learning how to create your own new patterns with your own sound. Isn't that what you'd like to do? I know it is, because at this point, hundreds of thousands of students have gone through pattern piano and keyboard and have written back to us that they're finally free to play anything they'd like on the keyboard. It's an awesome technique. Now, how far can you take the rhythmic patterns technique? Let me give you an example. I'll play the video again, but this time I'll take many very advanced rhythmic patterns and I'll string them together in my own unique way to create my own arrangement of an old song completely by ear. You can't believe how much fun this is to do. Here's that video. I'm just a poor, wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe. But there's no sickness, toil or danger in that bright land I call my home. Now that was a lot of advanced rhythmic patterns, but it also included a lot of elements from our other courses. In fact, if you check out our website, you'll see there's a huge library of video piano lessons that focus on many different styles. Styles such as the blues, jazz and gospel, worship music, Latin, pop, rock and roll, the list goes on. In addition, we've got many lessons dealing with music theory, ear training, etc. All these elements come into play if you really want to become a creative musician. So, thanks for taking the time to listen today. This has been a quick overview of the course titled Pattern Piano and Keyboard. My name is David Sprunger from PlayPianoTODAY.com. Now you know what to do. Go practice.